Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Tonight channel. After winning consecutive battles overseas, undisputed lightweight champion George Kambosos Jr. is to defend his title at home at Melbourne's Marvel Stadium in June. Kambosos Jr., 28, is likely to be up against Ukrainian star Vasiliy Lomachenko and his WBA, IBF and WBO belts. Initially, American Devin Haney, who holds the WBC belt, was to fight Kambosos, but Lomachenko, who lost his titles to Lopez, but had previously been rated as one of boxing's best pound-for-pound fighters, has now emerged as the leading candidate. The Greek-Australian has always talked about wanting to fight in a major stadium event in Australia, and according to his promoter Lou DiBella, it is finally happening. The most likely date is 5 June, as reported by ESPN. I can tell you now that George's first defense will be in Australia. You can take that to the bank. We want to make the biggest splash we can, and that is on the instructions of the fighter, DiBella told the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. When I met George, there was no television behind him. He fought for small purses, he traveled the world, he paid his dues. Now it's time for him to reap the rewards. With Melbourne being home to the biggest Greek population outside Greece, Kambosos Jr. is expected to gather major support. When he recently attended the Australian Open to watch Greek tennis star Stefanos Tsitsipas, the crowd got so excited cheering him on that he had to vacate Rod Laver Arena to avoid disrupting the flow of the match. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 200 subscribers on my channel. I am trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. The owner of the WBA, WBO lightweight titles, Vasiliy Lomachenko, reacted to the award of the WBC championship belt to American Devin Haney. Who is Haney and who has he defeated? How did he get the title? We boxed for him with champions or contenders. We boxed for the belt with champions or contenders. Then he got this title only because he was given it. And showed that you have achieved something? No question, I'm ready to come and fight with anyone and anytime. It's only about the business here, Lomachenko said. The WBC lightweight world champion Devin Haney, who previously owned a time belt, claims that Vasiliy Lomachenko himself asked WBC to give him a franchise title. This is my first world title, but I didn't get it the way I planned. Lomachenko and his team asked for a franchise championship. They are glad that their request was granted. Lomachenko wanted this. If he hadn't become a franchise champion, he wouldn't have had to fight me. I don't know if Lomachenko is avoiding me. This is boxing. I was a must-have contender for the guy who heads pound for pound. It seems that Vasiliy had reasons to avoid me. Of course, Top Rank said that I allegedly asked for too much money when they offered me a contract to fight, said Devin Haney. The WBC lightweight world champion Devin Haney continues to reproach the Ukrainian, owner of the WBA, WBO and franchise WBC championship Vasiliy Lomachenko, for not wanting to enter the ring with him. Lomachenko cited that our fight is a big risk for a small reward. If he had agreed to enter the ring with me, he would have earned more money than with any other opponent. The fans want to see our fight much more than his fight with Comey or Lopez. If Lomachenko thought I was an easy opponent, he would have boxed with me, just like with everyone else. I don't think he can become an absolute world champion without a fight with me. However, it looks like he will have a fight for all the championship titles, despite the fact that he is no longer the owner of the WBC belt. Now he has the belt of the franchise champion. I think that after winning the absolute, Lomachenko will go down in weight. Frankly, they say it looks like he doesn't want to arrange a fight with me, but it won't be a big strategy for me. I'm young, I'm only 20 years old. "I am the youngest world champion in professional boxing," Haney said. The WBA, WBO and WBC lightweight world champion Vasiliy Lomachenko named a list of boxers he would like to meet in the ring. Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney and Lopez repeatedly challenged the Ukrainian to a fight, to which Vasiliy declared his readiness to fight with each of them. "I think a great challenge for me would be a fight with Gervonta Davis. It would also be a good fight with Devin Haney, but let's see how it goes." My achievements in professional boxing even exceeded my expectations. When I turned professional, I didn't think that I would become the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world, Lomachenko said. Max Kellerman wore a devil's grin as he lobbed a proverbial softball toward Josh Taylor. The undisputed junior welterweight champion, well aware of the response the host sought for his television boxing show, promptly delivered a challenge to Gervonta Davis. "Well, if he wants to call himself a champion, the only way he can do that is face myself," Taylor told Kellerman, "and there is no way I don't think him or his team wanna put him in with a real, serious threat with anyone soon. So, well, we've got to see a Tank Davis and with a serious fighter at his own weight, and so we'll see how he fares and competes against someone when he is in an even match." With a record of 26-0, including 24 knockdowns, Davis is considered one of the sport's most dangerous knockout artists. The Baltimore native has consistently drawn criticism, however, for winning WBA secondary titles in 3 weight classes, only to bypass fights against the boxers considered true WBA champions in 2 respective divisions. Taylor, commonly considered one of the sport's 10 best pound for pound, is that WBA champion and the 140-pound limit. Davis defeated Mario Barrios by 11th round technical knockout to win the WBA World Super Lightweight title. Taylor had already established himself as the division's undisputed champion 5 weeks prior to Davis' victory, when he knocked Joseph Ramirez to the canvas twice and won their 12th round, 140-pound title unification bout by unanimous decision. The Scottish southpaw retained his IBF and WBA belts by winning Ramirez and won the WBC and WBO crowns from him. Taylor, 31, is scheduled to make a mandate at the defense of his WBO junior welterweight title against unbeaten British southpaw Jack Catterall on February 26. ESPN Plus will stream Taylor Catterall as a main event a week from Saturday. Davis doesn't have a fight scheduled yet, though his handlers are expected to request a fight with mandatory challenger Rolando Romero. Davis and Romero of North Las Vegas, Nevada, were supposed to headline a Showtime pay-per-view event December 5 at Staples Center, Las Vegas. The 27-year-old Davis defeated Cruz by unanimous decision. Yet Cruz tested the powerful southpaw in that 12th-round fight for Davis' WBA World Lightweight title. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.